On August 8, 2024, Bethesda released an updated version of Night Dive Studios' Doom and Doom 2 ports. And somehow this didn't end up on my radar until over a month later, which may have to do with the fact that I was deeply invested in some trans-femme fairy pirate novels by Layla Wilson. If you want more info, check out this video by Kit the Goddess. But fortunately for me, I was starting to get the itch to play through Doom again, and then play Quake, Quake 2, and all their expansions as well. And this remake comes with so many quality of life improvements over the original, a new soundtrack by Andrew Hulshult, and a new official expansion for Doom 2, Legacy of Rust, that even features new weapons and enemies. And along with that comes with the id Vault, where you can view various sprites and cut content, many of which have been reused for Legacy of Rust. This scratched my itch, and like any type of bug bite, that only made it so much worse. That night I came up with a play order of all the games and expansions I wanted to play through, and I'll be streaming them as I do. Probably once a week, but potentially more if I have the time and energy. And after each stream, I'll make a little video going over my thoughts on what I just played. Which brings us to the topic of this video. Last night I played through Knee Deep in the Dead, and honestly, it's probably my least favorite episode in Doom 1. I appreciate it for what it's worth, and I enjoy playing it through every time, but the greatest strength of classic Doom is also this episode's greatest weakness. It's too simple. The only enemies are imps, zombiemen, shotgun guys, pinkies, and specters. That's one enemy that shoots projectiles, 2 hit scanners, and then pinkies. This is just not enough in my opinion, and combat arenas begin to feel stale. Fortunately, Knee Deep in the Dead isn't just a bad shmup. These levels are also intricate mazes that have many puzzles and secrets that reward the player for exploring and thinking outside the box. And that's what really carries this episode for me. Of course, Doom also has a story, and while Doom is praised for a simplistic story, letting the player brush it aside and get straight into the action, that's not really what Doom is going for in my opinion. Doom is heavily inspired by RPGs, and its story is simplistic in the same vein that its graphics are, letting the player fill in the gaps to tell the story they believe happened. Unlike Half-Life, where you create the outbreak and experience it as it's happening, in Doom, Hell has already invaded and taken over the military base on Phobos. You get to see the aftermath of that, and the limited graphics allow the player to fill in what each room was prior to the invasion and what happened to it. This is most obvious at the end of this episode when you reach the Phobos anomaly, and upon collecting the computer area map, or entering the arena with the Barons of Hell, and see that the area is a large pentagram. And after defeating the Barons, the teleporter to the demo space is covered with satanic imagery. This place is very obviously human-made, and it was known that the teleportation tech used hell in some capacity or opened a gateway to it, and the researchers began to appease hellish creatures in the pursuit of technological progress. This isn't the only spot where this episode has storytelling built into the level design though. It is everywhere within these games, and the only limit is the player's imagination. Think of it how an author describes the scenes or objects in a novel without actually showing it to the reader. You're given guidelines for what caused the invasion, what happened to the Phobos base, but you get to fill in the scenes. You are asked to play an active part in creating the story in your head, and that's the beauty of the storytelling in a lot of these older games, and it's very unfortunate that so many people miss it. Of course, I feel that Doom 2, TNT, Plutonia, and Doom 64 do this much better, and there's not much that I really have to say about the story of Knee Deep in the Dead other than that I really like the ending, and I really appreciate that no other official Doom episode has replicated it. But for the sake of expressing my point, I'll go over 2 more locations with a bit of interest. First, it's common knowledge that Hangar, early in development, was supposed to represent a spaceship hangar, but it's commonly regarded that it no longer resembles that. I disagree. First off, I believe the outdoor portion would be the area for the spaceships to land or take off. This is because it's overall a flat bit of land and every wall facing it opens up to allow viewing of the port. Of course, the acid in the center of the port is not just acid, but it is why you can't leave. It is the remainder of a spaceship that was destroyed. I like to believe that the toxic ooze is whatever fuels planetary spaceships in this universe, probably some sort of nuclear waste, and the armor pickup is some surviving equipment. From the landing zone, there's then a small corridor that leads up to the rest of the base. Second, Phobos Lab, where I imagine a lot of the research was done, contains a small secret teleporter. Now, I didn't find this when I live streamed it yesterday, so you'll have to settle for a PNG. As you can see, it's in the shape of a pentagram, just like the Baron of Hell arena at the Phobos anomaly. I believe this is an example of an earlier prototype for the teleporters, as we see in later episodes. Overall, this episode is an okay entry for Doom, but everything in it is done better later on in the franchise. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so next time I stream you'll get a notification to stop by. You can always unsubscribe later, but for now, I hope you will join me tomorrow at the shores of hell.